We held the memorial party yesterday, July 27th, for immediate family and group. There's a video, let me check.
Yeah, let me see pictures. I know what Brooks looks like. Let me see pictures of this person.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the video if it has good photos of him. But...
Maybe this is Monica trying to tell us that the person that we thought was Brooks that we were talking to actually died back in July.
She's confused.
This is her weird fucking way of trying to tell us some shit. Like, I really don't know, but I don't want any part of it. I thought it was very bizarre that this Brooks person, the people were saying that they passed away. It was very sad. It is what it is. Prayers to the family, but I really don't want no part of this. I think this is some dumbass shit.
Why'd you bring it up then?
Well, because the way we're breaking it down and listening to the more and more I'm listening to it, I'm like, okay, yeah, Monica probably fucking with people.
Let me text Brooks and let's see if he answers. If he answers.
No, so you got his number?
No, I mean like on the back channel.
Brad said he knew him personally in real life and went to drinks with him and stuff. I'm just confused.
That's not true. That can't be true.
I have no idea. That's what Brad was saying. Brad was like, I went to drinks with him. He's pretty cool. I got to know him, stuff like that. So I don't know who he was talking about if it's not this person for me.
Ooh, somebody get ready to spin a narrative. This is crazy.
It's an AI. It turns out he's been gone since July, and it's an AI on here pretending to be him.
I don't fucking know.
It copied his voice and is now just keeping him alive.
Body snatched him, and it's his ghost on here. Yeah, that would be horrific.
Oh my god.
So y'all have seen him since that?
Hold on, Holly. What happened, Issa? Issa, what happened?
She's doing a voice message to him right now.
Go ahead, Holly. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just asking if y'all had seen him on here, because I haven't seen him in quite a long time.
Oh, I see that he was responding to Monica's little voice thing just yesterday, a day ago. It's in the recorded thing under his name and his profile. It's right there underneath the houses.
Okay, but no, here's the thing. So the chat looks updated from yesterday, but his message was from March. And Monica posted that yesterday, so it says a day ago.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it might be him.
It might be him. Yeah, because I heard his voice, and I'm like, yeah, that's his name. And that's his voice, sorry. And
right.
But his message, the voice that I heard was from March. The message. So Monica must have gone to that chat just to post the things so that people would know.
That's so sad.
Oh wow.
Just like Ryan does.
Ryan has temperance, yeah.
Does he know I'm black?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think so, yeah. I don't know anybody black. Imagine if he finds out you're black.
I kind of wanted to know.
I think he knows you're
No,
black.
he doesn't care, dude. He doesn't care if you're black.
No. Because obviously if he finds out that if he was black, McLevin, and if he said something that went against his logic, he would call him, shut the fuck up, nigger. You don't know shit, fucking damn nigger.
They don't think, as long as they don't get caught or they don't get arrested, it's not a crime. You don't need to be arrested or deported to break the law. If you broke the law, you broke the law. They're two separate things. And then the consequence.
جمع شدن با هم دیگه و خوشحالی و وقتی با هم هستن و مهربونیشون و اینطور چیزا بیشتر درصد من میتونم بگم از یه کسی که بیرون
She's just fucking with us.
I am. It was confusing when I was looking it up earlier.
Oh, he was very sweet.
We can't even hear your echoey, whispery shit. Go away.
You want to stay on the...
Just kick him out.
Just kick him.
Why are you guys acknowledging him? You should have just let him keep going and ignored him.
You're right. Barely could
What
hear
did
him
the
anyway.
brother?
I literally couldn't.
What did the brother say again? His brother came on here and said.
The sister. The sister message, Monica.
Oh, it's sad. I did like Brooks a lot.
That's sad.
Well, one day we're here and the other we're not. So let's keep wasting our time on Clubhouse.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I heard another story about a woman that used to be a trucker that was on Clubhouse, and she was in the middle of speaking, giving like a lecture on here, and then stopped. Apparently, she had dropped dead, and everybody was wondering what had happened, and they didn't know until about 10 minutes later when her boyfriend came in and found her.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and they could hear it because it wasn't muted, so they heard him screaming and like trying to figure it out.
Clubhouse.
In the middle of talking.
Oh, shit.
I almost died on Clubhouse one day, too.
Driving down the street, you almost crashed into somebody. Who was there?
I was going out in the street, yeah, and I remember I had fever and everything. Like I went to, it was in the COVID time, I went to get a test, and I was gonna jump on the train, you know, and when I was about to get in on the tram, my arm got stuck on the door, and I couldn't get in. And then it started running. And then I started running with the train. And then at some point I couldn't run anymore. And my feet were getting under, you know, where the rails go. And the guy was trying to open the door from inside and he couldn't. And so he kicked the emergency thing. And then the train stopped abruptly and I flew away.
Shit!
And I was on Clubhouse on my earphones, and I was on mute, and I could hear them speaking, but I couldn't do anything. I couldn't say anything. I was like, oh shit! And I'm listening to the guys on Clubhouse, and I'm here like running next to a train. Yeah.
Could you imagine laughing?
Say Clubhouse after you got it all straightened out?
Yeah, well, first I yelled at the driver, and I was like, "How do you got one job and you don't even look at your mirror that I am just about to enter?" And I'm like, "I need your number, your name. Give me your name." And I was gonna, yeah.
How's your German yelling?
Did you sue them?
No, you can't do that. I tried, but you can't.
They're part of the government.
Could you imagine, like, dying to, like, listening to Clubhouse?
Yeah.
That's what I was just about to say. Like getting, like, stepping off a curb and getting hit by a bus. Like, as you're cussing somebody out.
Crazy Pepe.
What a fucking anti-Semitic Arabs, like, cussing out people and then end up stepping off a cliff or something. Like, seriously.
Exactly. It was because Paula made me laugh too hard.
I would have died listening to Augustus. He was the one talking.
Oh, that would suck. Oh,
that would be
He would have been the last
It's
voice
better than dying to make it pop.
So he's like, you yell really loud.
It's better than dying listening to Monica.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I yelled loudly to the driver.
No, I mean, are you authoritative in German? You're yelling?
Oh no, I was cussing in English.
Oh, in English. Yeah, everyone speaks English there, right?
Yeah, German's just an aggressive language now.
Yeah, no, it just sounds 10 times worse than it actually is.
It really does.
You could wish someone a happy day, and they're like,
but I was so scared and I was so angry.
Yeah, if you turn on German in the morning for the weather, it sounds like Hitler.
Did you literally just say I love you?
I forgot to say thank you to the guy that pushed the emergency button, and then I remembered like hours later. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, Donka. You know, that's thank you, Donka. It even sounds like, you know, like you're hunting you.
Such an aggressive language.
It just sounds deadly, man.
There's a good comedy routine in here someplace.
I thought it was a generational trauma that triggered me whenever I heard German, but no, it's just an aggressive.
Intergenerational, like the Palestinian refugees.
Oh God!
Could you imagine if somebody got hit by a train as they're sitting there listening to Kelly calling them an idiot? You hear the train horn, then it just disappears. Oh
my God!
Like, can you let him get a word in edgewise? No, shut the fuck up.
He said, you guys, the last thing he heard was me calling him a dumbass, which he was. But it's just sad. It's the last thing he heard. I can see that happening. I can see it happening. Exactly. Oh my God.
Totally wish he'd
Shit. Oh God. Things that happen on this app. I will say there's been a few times I almost didn't make it to the bathroom.
On Clubhouse?
Yeah.
There's been a few times I was getting yelled at by my wife and I almost didn't mute up.
I'm sitting there listening to people argue, and like I was starting to get anxiety because listening to that, and then like, you know, I had to shit at the same time. The seat covers wouldn't come out fast enough. Like
You need to do what I do. Embrace diapers.
I'm telling you, God, this app will fuck with you.
Dude, it's crazy how addictive it can be, though.
It is extremely addictive. It really is. Like, I'll be sitting here bored and I'll think, like, I want to get on Clubhouse. I'll stop doing anything else and get on Clubhouse.
Even after I broke my Clubhouse addiction, I still couldn't sit.
It's like crack cocaine.
I eventually came back.
It's
We all come back.
All other social media, like, I'll be on it, Twitter, X, Facebook, whatever it is, and I'm like, damn, I want to talk to people. These comments aren't rolling fast enough.
My favorite part of Clubhouse, I think, is talking shit to people. Like, it's become one of my favorite hobbies.
You know, there's a cult in California where they get in a circle and they all roast each other and say mean shit and just, like, be racist and sexist. And it's a cult, and it's a therapy that they actually do that bonds them into the cult. I'm pretty sure we are all following that exact example. We are in a cult.
I wouldn't call that a cult. I would call that Clubhouse.
No, the hell we are not. Please, I would get arrested at that camp out so quickly. No, I'm telling you, oof. There are just certain buttons that I feel like people push on the internet that they just, you know, kind of get their shit off and they would just normally not push it in.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I think
and they talk to each other like
extremely
that's me. That's me.
because there's just certain buttons.
That's totally me. I'm not such a bitch in real life. I'm actually quite the opposite. I swear to God, you wouldn't believe that, but I'm really nice in real life.
no, come on.
I am a red hat wearing insane person in real life. I am actually like this.
Yeah, but you don't sound that insane.
The person I worry about on Clubhouse is a guy named Doc, because I'm sure he'd like that in real life, and it's like, man, we gotta find him.
Oh, Doc's not well.
He doesn't want to be found.
No,
He's in the wood, hiding in a hole or
Doc
something.
is a little puppy.
I have been on the app listening. He's like, someone said something one day in the morning, mind you. He was lit. In the morning, he started drinking.
Most mornings.
Yeah.
Most mornings.
And he's like, motherfucker, and I hear gunshots.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Yeah, or he gets angry at people, and he's like shooting his shotgun off. He's like, you hear that? That's my shotgun. And I'm like, whoa.
And
He
actually
shot his
I'm
ceiling.
like, Doc,
He shot his ceiling in a room once.
I know, and he goes, oh shit, I thought I was muted up.
He's a crazy little
T-Time, you got it. It's Mr. fucking Leahy for sure.
He is a crazy motherfucker.
Doc, this is a room they're talking
There's a few
about
people
here.
I know they're like this off this. Jazzy, she's definitely like this off this app. Yeah.
Ella was talking about how you
say a lot of things.
shut your gun in the morning, screaming motherfuckers at people.
Just a hair trigger temper.
The most racist thought you could think of. That's what he meant.
No. Just a hair trigger temper. That's, you know. Yeah. That is what it is, you know.
I'm sure Monica is exactly like Monica off this app.
I mean,
I'm sure the kids selling lemonade in a mile radius from her are all miserable.
Off this app, I'm a little different. You know, during the holidays, I'll cuss people out maybe once every other week. But usually there's a once a week incident where somebody ends up embarrassed in public. But, you know, it depends on what it is. You know, I don't even necessarily have to get loud. But, you know.
My favorite, though, is when Adams gets on his big mic. Oh,
I love Adams.
Adams on his big mic. Yes.
It is great.
Look at him, he doesn't check it. Gets up real close to his mic. Yes. We got a minute of it in this room tonight. That room was about to get wild.
Yeah. That's all I can handle with that for tonight. I'm tired.
Me too. Man, it gets dark at 5 o'clock now.
Okay, guys, I have a question.
Yeah.
What's up?
What do we think about Tulsi Gabbard?
You know why I love her? I hate her. That's why I love her.
Yeah, but I don't.
I'm not down to make it down anymore. No, I'm not, because to me, I feel like people are getting way too comfortable, and we're starting to see things that like people are just getting too comfortable.
Don't make the same mistakes Democrats did, because that's exactly what Democrats
did. No, see, I'm not too worried about that. Trump doesn't give a fuck. You fire a motherfucker in New York, he doesn't care. So, to me, I'm not worried about it, because this guy is not, he's only got 4 years. He knows it. You can tell he's learned his lesson. He's going to put up with shit. So I think the people he's chosen because they're loyal.
Exactly. I think I trust Trump's opinion.
But Tulsi Gabbard, here's what upsets me about Tulsi Gabbard. She thinks that we should be in the Iranian nuclear deal.
Does she?
Well, somebody shared a tweet that she was calling Trump irresponsible because he didn't want to get into it.
As long as he does what Trump says, I think we'll be good.
Exactly. And the thing is, you have to remember,
but she's director of intelligence. Like,
hold on. When was that tweet? Because a lot has probably happened from the time she tweeted that till today.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, but do you think her stance?
Here's the thing, Al.
Yeah, I do.
It wasn't that long ago that Elon Musk, and I don't mean to interrupt you, it wasn't that long ago that Elon Musk was supporting Ron DeSantis and making some very derogatory comments about Donald Trump. Right. So this whole brotherhood to the MAGA movement bullshit that people are doing, I think that it's cooperation for right now. But I also think that there's a lot of egos in the room where it's going to be a matter of time before, you know, some of them start getting picked out of their positions. It becomes very apparent that he used them to the aims of which he needed to. And he's just going to proceed with what the hell Trump wants to do. And I'm all for that. But these co-signing dick writers that, quite frankly, aren't embodying the sentiment of Trump, that really led me to hold my nose and not listen to the other shit around it. You see what I'm saying? These people are going to start antagonizing opposition that he does not need right now.
Well, so to your point, go read the tweet that Elon Musk just made about Matt Gaetz. I love it and I hate it all at once. I love it for MAGA. I love what he's saying.
Can you maybe read it to me?
The rest of the world, or even people who aren't necessary.
Listen, I think that a lot of people will respect, calling each other out in your own party, you know. That's another failure of the Democratic Party. They refuse to condemn anybody in their own party until they've excluded themselves from everybody.
Wait, did you guys... what you need to do is go read Elon Musk's tweet tonight about Matt Gaetz. I loved it.
Wait, can you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it to you. But I loved it and I hated it all at once because I loved it for MAGA. But for people listening or reading it, not maybe fully understanding what he knows, I won't spoil it. guys tell me what your impression. Here we go. Let's see. So, Elon Musk, and this is today. Matt Gaetz has 3 critical assets that are needed for the AG role: a big brain, a spine of steel, and an axe to grind. He is the Judge Dredd America needs to clean up a corrupt system and put powerful bad actors in prison. Gaetz will be our hammer of justice. And then in his first comment under that, he said, as for these accusations against him, I consider them worthless. Under our laws, a man is considered innocent until proven guilty. If A.G. Garland, an unprincipled douchebag, these are Elon's words, could have secured a conviction against Gaetz, he would have. But he knew he did not have the case. Case closed.
So, here's my question.
Sorry.
Elon Musk concerns me too. I saw something earlier that said Elon Musk is like, I don't know, arranging meetings with somebody in Iran so that they could seek peace negotiations or some shit. Don't quote me verbatim. It was something along those lines.
I don't know. Right now you're going to see a lot of stuff that comes out and only about...
That's not a good thing because Iran is... They might seek peace, but they're still going to be plotting.
Right. And see, Paula, the thing that I have a problem with, and I hear Elle's point as far as liking the statement and not at the same time. Right. The comment that he made about the axe to grind, that to me does not embody a sentiment of... It's a sentiment of hypocrisy. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. Because this is the same thing that we accuse the other side of doing, and now we're openly just not even admitting it anymore.
No, it's not even close to this.
No, hold on. I don't like the undertone of the statement that he made in context of him saying that he had an axe to grind. That's all I'm saying. Everything else that he said was wonderful. If you want to throw these disgusting, filthy bastards in jail, that's fine. But what I'm not going to listen to for the next 4 years is something that's going to break us off into some sort of cultural war riot to where now it's manifesting into violence because people are now panicking. You see what I'm saying? And I get where a lot of you guys are coming from with the whole free speech aspect of it, but I'm just asking you guys to hear me very clearly when I say that. A lot of you guys do not live in places where things have literally almost burned down to the ground. Okay? And I'm talking every other freaking block. I'm talking
in Minneapolis.
Okay, so you understand how
pops off, like they burn shit.
Right. And for me, I am not looking forward to another summer of love where it's taking 4.5 to 8 hours to get home. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to be dealing with that.
So I think those people are
Like, I just miss the absolute euphoria of playing a game masterfully and feeling like it meant something.
Yeah, I feel that.
Well, I'm more worried about the anime division. Half my favorite animes are from Katakura. What the fuck is gonna happen?
So here's what we're going to do, right? We have a solution for this. China, okay? And they're going to copy all kinds of good video games. They're going to make better video games. Now, just the slight off chances, whenever, like, there's a bit of censorship in their media, they sometimes turn blood into a white liquid, which makes some of the anime battles look really suspicious, but that's fine. You know, I can work with that.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Black King Wukong, yeah.
Yeah, that when there's like white liquid that comes out of a person instead of red liquid because it's blood and it's everywhere, it kind of makes the whole story a little bit different. But you know, I think we can live with that. We can make that small adjustment.
And then
Brazilians made out of white blood cells. That's what we're going to use as an excuse. Anyways,
Now that we talked about anime, we got the anime profile pictures. Show you.
Yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn a bunch of Chinese, and then we're gonna figure out our way through that. Get into all the praise circles now. We're gonna infiltrate them for a change.
Ni hao.
That's still gonna happen. That's seriously still gonna happen. There's two ways out of this. So there's two scenarios. Fuck this internet.
Ni hao. Shi shi ni. What?
Oh, just like, you know, talking about something, Algo picks it up. All of a sudden it shows up on people's feeds and they end up in the room.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what's actually going on.
Have you watched ReZero?
No, I have not.
Alright.
Tell me about it.
It's a great anime. I love it.
I used to watch a lot of anime, but that was when I had a lot more spare time.
It's actually a very, very interesting concept. It's like basically one of my favorite aspects of it is like you know how like there's the 7 deadly sins.
Yes.
And then there's like 7 virtues that kind of oppose the sins.
Okay.
So the guy, the main character, has to kind of choose between the path of virtue and the path of sin. And if he goes down the path of sin, that's like a ReZero if story. And like the story is like him like sometimes a lot of times it's like him finding like the virtue within the sin. And he gets to go back in time. Like he goes back in time whenever he dies. And
very interesting. That sounds cool as fuck.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite animes. That's owned by Katakoa, which I have no doubt that Sony will fuck up.
Wild. Yeah, I do. I hate the consolidation that we're seeing in the media. Like, you know, Disney acquiring like Marvel and Star Wars and just like, and Fox, I think. Like, Disney has become huge. And you've seen it in other places too, with consolidation of news media ownership and other things where it's just like, how few people does it need to be before we see it's like a monopolized industry and like try to change it somehow?
Sony's trying to build like a massive Sony media library, which isn't just movies or TV shows or music or whatever. They're trying to build they're trying to build like a Sony service that has like everything. So video games, music, movies, TV shows, anime, whatever you name it. So they want to they're purchasing a bunch of IP to consolidate everything. It's like a single Sony service.
That's an interesting strategy. I mean, I think if you're aiming to being the best at like every type of thing you want to be the hub for, like if it's streaming, like streaming quality, but if you want to be the hub for other types of things like payments, or like direct messaging.
No, it's just the hub for everything media. All forms of media. That's what they've said in their shareholder letter.
Fancy media company. All right.
Yeah, that's why if you look at all their recent acquisitions, it's all focused on entertainment.
Yeah.
Music, video games, movies, TV shows, anime.
I do think one of the worst things about a lot of the current media companies, like talking about like Netflix, Hulu, lesser extent HBO, but also a little bit, is the inconsistent IP rates, right? And so like something will go off of streaming because their contract for the IP rates ended, and then so seeing a media company that is consolidating ownership media so that you can make it consistently available is kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, but the problem with Netflix is that everything they release has to have some sort of bullshit in it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily the way things are going to keep going everywhere forever.
Yeah, I hope not. I know that the Daily Wire released like a service for like entertainment recently.
Citizens, and you're saying they're not martial.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Not martial.
I agree.
I guarantee you, Venezuelans are fucking protesting. They're all gonna be rounded up and fucking deported.
If I had 100 Venezuelans outside my house threatening me, I would open fire, happily, with a smile on my face.
Well, good thing you were never going to be in charge of anything in government fucking ever.
You think so? I'm actually right up there, Mark.
Treats a bunch of Americans as if they are enemy combatants.
You're not enemy combatants. Illegal entry into the country is a national invasion.
You don't take half the country and turn them into enemy combatants. It's a moronic idea.
You are talking past each other. He did not say Americans.
He said illegals. And yeah, James, hey, let's roll together. Fuck them.
The difference is you're not going to see that black versus white war that like during BLM. You're not going to see that. I'm seeing
that's
fucking.
Not the war you need to be focused about. We're not talking about race. We're talking about ideology.
Yeah. And
okay, that's the war that's
literally ideology. Exactly.
Right. That is the war that is more dangerous. And where it
they're fucking.
Listen. You now have people on U.S. soil that have this radical Islamic Middle Eastern guerrilla warfare ideological type of mindset. Okay, this shit is a recipe for disaster.
Girls with blue hair, bro.
Bro, that's not true.
You're so dumb.
It's almost that.
Vinny, what state do you live in, Vinny?
It is.
What state do you live in, Vinny?
Everywhere. Florida, fucking LA.
Okay.
This is crazy.
LA is not a state, but okay.
I'm saying I lived all over the states. I'm not in the states right now. I'm in Canada right now.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, you're in a whole other country. You went way North America.
Because tensions are a little high here. I'm just saying, especially right now.
So me and Marshall actually get along great.
If any of you spend any time on X, like people are unhinged over there.
Oh yeah,
unhinged.
Clubhouse.
But again, I am just here going on record. I did not really think that rhetoric from Musk, personally, it even hit me wrong. And I'm pretty go. It just put in my 2 cents.
The way I see it is we got 4 years to do it, and this is the only 4 years we got left. After this, it's like, guys, it's the end line.
Why just do it?
And it actually might even be shorter. It might be 2 years.
It's not going to disintegrate too.
Well, let's just hope that Trump doesn't get fucking assassinated too. Like,
if he gets assassinated, J.D. Vance is president.
That's true.
And then you're missing the point. I could like that.
He would be assassinated. That would be a bad thing to happen.
Honestly, Vance is probably better. I run in the.
you're missing the point. Assassinating an American president is a bad idea. Just like full stop.
Of course, I'm just saying. Like,
nobody wanting to assassinate some president.
You've had civil wars in other countries that have broken out for people less than the president getting assassinated.
Literally.
So again, at the end of the day, I feel like y'all are not accepting the fact that there is an ideological shift on one side that has made it very clear that they are willing to engage in domestic terrorism and domestic radicalism. And I don't think that y'all are taking that. Hold on, you're cutting me off. Let me finish. Let me just land my plane, bro. Again, I don't think that you're taking into consideration that your eyes, ears, and your noses are not in other places around this damn country where some of them men, okay, that are sitting up in there talking shit, like how we are up on this app, are doing the same damn thing in their basement on the other side, stockpiling weapons. So again, y'all need to just be very careful and take this win with some grace. And I refer back to sportsmanship. You don't run the score up on the other team, and you don't punch people in the face when you're shaking hands at the end of the game. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, and to your point, we have never spit in the face of any person we ran the score up on.
You haven't.
Okay, let's go backwards. Our side, the conservative side, we just been chill. No. We're not out here looting and burning up shit. But we're to the point we're tired of the shit. Now, if these fucktards, progressive, whatever the fuck you want to call these pink, purple-haired dinosaurs, fat bitches and fat motherfucking niggas, whatever you want to call them, they gonna get run up and they gonna fuck around and find out. Yeah. We're tired of
those fast kids, right?
It's simple.
And the difference is in 2020, they had the hood behind them. That's kind of like, to make them feel tough. They don't have that. They really don't. You guys have to understand that aspect.
Yeah, the problem is going to be, I have a feeling, to kind of envelop what you're all saying, is it could turn into something like the 1960s, but worse, which is where we're headed.
And you're going to be having both people on either sides. It's going to look like a rainbow coalition on either side. So I wish people would stop focusing on race. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
It will, yeah.
It will. Because it comes down to ideology. It doesn't come down to race.
It is ideology.
It is.
It's not going to be race.
Did you not see those protests for the Israel-Palestine shit?
I agree with
There were black people, Mexican people, Arab people, Jewish people on one side. They were the same on the other. So again, it comes down to ideology. That's all I'm saying. We've never seen.
Listen, but the thing is, according to polls, most people are uninformed about what stance they take on many issues. So while that's the case, we have a job to do. We have a job to inform those people of what's going on and bring them in.
Hold on.
Yeah, we try.
You guys have to
fuck around to find out. You bring your ass out here,
That's exactly right. I'm the fuck around to find out king. There's somebody out there who has experience with it. He is 6 feet under now today. Amen to him.
And I can guarantee you take your ass down in the hood with that bullshit, you're going to get fucked up because most of these hoods, quote unquote hoods, whatever, are conservative.
Yeah.
They're not dealing with that bullshit. You bring your ass out here to the sticks. You're going to fuck around and really find out.
Protecting them during the ML.
Hold on.
We need to act locally.
You guys are mistaken. Like, the Palestinian movement, the mass amounts of those people do not fuck with any of that gay shit. They fucking hate that shit. The hood don't fuck with it. They fucking think they're bati boys, fucking faggots. They don't fuck with none of that gay shit. So, like, who is the
Wait, why are you focused on gay shit?
Yeah. I'm saying, who is the Rainbow Mafia have as this massive
Rainbow Coalition is what they said.
Yeah, so this Rainbow Coalition is not going to have.
That has nothing
to do with gay people. Do you know what the Rainbow? You wanted to sit up in here? Hold on. Thank you, Ryan. So again, at the end of the day, you did not understand what I meant by a Rainbow Coalition that had nothing to do with gay people. Right. So you want to talk about Black history and what Black people in the hood are doing? Stop trying to hijack our culture, bro. You need to understand the history behind what the Rainbow Coalition means. States. That was a pro-black movement. Thank you. That was a pro-black movement. Thank you. That was a pro-black movement. That had nothing to do with gay people.
That's what I thought you were talking about something else.
No. So I'm not trying to go up on you. I'm not trying to go up on you. But what I'm saying is you need to just be listening and not trying to throw that type of narrative in this because you're not hearing us. Okay? This shit has nothing to do with race. This shit has to do with ideology.
It's LGBT. I think you might be going to the LGBT.
It's not
whatever the fuck they are.
That was my point.
Well, the weird part is they're gays. They don't identify with LGBTQ. They wear red MAGA hats and everything. They're not. They completely reject the rainbow code. You know,
I'm not
there's
talking about regular gay people. I'm talking about the super wokey fucking.
You're talking about
whatever you're talking about is in response to something totally related to what you brought up. You're responding to Adam. She said Rainbow Coalition, which means something totally different than the LGBTQ rainbow.
Yeah, I think he understands now that I broke down the history of what it means. But let's go back to what I was saying as far as the rhetoric. Let's go back to what I'm saying as far as the rhetoric. Okay, there's no reason why we need to be getting up in these people's face about the changes that we're going to be making juridically and making electorally. You see what I'm saying? Through the different policies that we're going to be making legislatively.
We need to stop telling them what we're going to be doing.
Right. We just need to go and do it. So at the end of the day, there's no reason to be opening up rooms, antagonizing people on this damn app. These are the times for us to be able to enjoy our echo chambers and how they were able to enjoy it for the last 4 years. Okay? So at the end of the day, we need to handle this in a way to where we are the responsible party that was able to bring America together, have people come to their senses, and de-escalate things from coming to a civil war. Because I'm telling y'all right now, I am about to turn fucking 40 pretty soon. And at this point, I am absolutely tired of going through these cycles of economic instability that is ultimately going to affect my retirement. Okay? So we really need to start thinking about how this is affecting our everyday bottom line and not allowing ourselves to run our mouths and contribute to the fucking problem that is standing in our own way.
I agree with you, Adams. But in the streets, if you want to do this, it's time for us on the right to say, fuck around and find out. I'm tired of getting punched in the face.
Hey, no, they're not punching nobody right now.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, so I'm just saying. But we old school, though. We old school. This is that mumble rapper new bullshit. That trying to find out shit. No, how about don't start, no won't be nothing. That's when you feel like they stuck around, don't find out. That's what it means to be a man in this country.
Stuck around to find out, same thing.
No, but we gotta explain these steps to these
young puppies.
Okay, but we gotta explain to these young puppies exactly.
You should be very interesting, Wink. What's going on with Linda McMahon?
She's gonna wrestle the Department of Education back into shape.
Yeah, that's wild. Dude, there was like really good picks and Jesus, Linda McMahon, huh?
I would love to know his reasoning behind it. Like, what purpose? Like, what has she got? I'm sure she's some of the brains behind the WWE. That's entertainment. It's far different than education, but we'll see. Motivation can get people a long ways, but I'm not sure on that pick. I'm a little bit leery of the gates, but I get it because when I first heard it, I was like, here we go. But he's also one of these guys that Trump looks at as they came after you. Let's get him back. Let's clean it up. And so in that regards, I think he's got a motivated person there. Now we'll see, what happens. He's never been charged with a lot of these things, but you got people who are witnesses. But let's be real. I do not believe for a second the bullshit about the Bergdorf Goodman. You can't walk in that damn store and walk 2 feet without every eye on you if it were you and I, let alone being Donald Trump back when it happened. And the reason that woman didn't say what year it happened was because all they had to do was subpoena anybody that worked there. You're not going to drag somebody in the back of that store. I mean, anybody who's been there will tell you that. You're not going to drag somebody in the freaking dressing room and be able to rape them. And so, we've seen it with the Kavanaugh thing. They come up, they fabricate witnesses, and never do we have physical evidence. Never do we have anything that materializes. It's just it's a defamation, attempt is what I feel it is.
But I don't know with Gates. I don't know enough about it, but he's definitely going to be motivated.
You know, respectfully, Roger, I think we have to remember the Democratic Party has a demonstrated history of using false rape allegations to discredit Republicans. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Tawana Brawley. I don't know if you're old enough to remember the Duke lacrosse hoax. Just go through. You can list dozens and dozens and dozens of times that the Democratic Party has done.
Joe, how old do you think I am?
Well, you're so handsome and energetic. You must be a young man.
I'm firmly Gen X.
Well, then, respectfully, do you remember the Tawana Brawley hoax? Do you remember Duke lacrosse hoax?
Oh, yeah. Full show. The first election that I voted in was in '92.
Well, I just want to say that given the track record of false allegations, I just think that you have to be skeptical. That's all.
So, Linda McMahon, though, let's talk about that. Department of Education, is that who you would have suspected would run the Department of Education? Unless she's going to, because of the theatrics that she's used to, maybe they are planning to get rid of the Department of Education, and maybe perhaps it didn't require someone that knows anything about education. So, I don't know. We're going to see. That to me, that's the weirdest pick he's made so far. Austin has a criticism of me. Go ahead.
So, unless it's a new word, thoughts. I think you're trying to say thoughts, but perhaps tater tots. That's not the way it's spelled. Just saying. Don't know if you knew that.
Thoughts means that hoe over there.
So that's my mistake. I was ignorant to that, and I apologize. I retract my last.
Yeah, you got it. I'm here to educate.
Appreciate it.
Here to educate. Yeah. I wonder why Eric's not coming up. He normally comes up and adds value. Let's see. Marshall, welcome back.
Dr. Jordan here. He's in some stupid room led by Jonathan.
Jonathan who?
You know, Million Marathon.
I'm just convinced that my mic is bad right now. Is my mic terrible?
Yeah, your mic's not too bad. What's going on with Jonathan? He's not processing the results of the election too well, is he?
Oh, I highly doubt it. No, he's still running rooms on why this is so wrong, and now finding stuff to talk about outside of the country that's being affected. I don't know. They're talking about Mexico, and if we're treating Mexico right, it's just a bunch of...
I got into it with him a little bit on tariffs, and he was trying to say how bad they were, and then he would just, how he was going to constantly cut you off and throw you off the stage, and so he's cutting you off, and then all of a sudden Grant comes on and starts reiterating the same thing. And then I said something, and then Grant told him to let me go, keep going. And I was explaining it, and Jonathan kept cutting me off. And finally, I just was sick of it. And so I just jumped in and spoke louder. And it's just like, here's where you're fucking wrong. And then finally he shut up, and then Grant said, that's what I'm talking about. And then Jonathan's like, Corey, you got to go a set of balls because you didn't say that until Grant got on. I was like, no, you just threaten to throw people off the stage when you interrupt them and don't let them finish. So that's one reason I quit going into that room at all. It's the reason I didn't go into chatter. It's just the same old shit, and it's like somebody's chatter.
I have to tell you, the one thing, if I had to point to one thing that made chatter less, fun, it's Jonathan. And I don't dislike Jonathan, to be honest. I think he's got some wacky political views, but when it comes to Israel, for example, he was a good ally of Israel. I thought that was cool. But he runs dumb rooms and he attracts dumb people.
and he really doesn't want to hear the other side. I might berate people every now and again when I'm bored or I don't know, want to stir the pot, but I do like to hear what other people have to say. I actually enjoy trying to understand. I'm in San Francisco right now. I was out to dinner with 3 people, and it's funny. We were having a conversation, and I was clearly the voice of reason at the table, and all 3 of them were against me. And then the waitress came by, and one of the guys tried to enlist the waitress's help because that's always a good idea. And the waitress agreed with me, and I was like, yes, I got a waitress in San Francisco to agree with me. I could have been in a room full of 1,000 people that disagree with me. I don't care if I'm outnumbered. If I believe I'm correct, why would I surrender my position? But the fact that I got a waitress to agree with me, and you know what the issue was? The issue was in regards to government spending. And, you guys probably know my opinion on this, but this guy was making the point that in California, that they don't, he said they don't, they should tax people more so they can adequately handle the homeless problem. And then when I went into the whole reason why money is not the issue, he lost his mind. And but this woman that's a waitress that knows that these homeless people that piss in the doorway of their fucking restaurant, she had a differing opinion. She doesn't think it's money either. It's the tolerance of allowing people to piss and shit in front of your place. I mean, telling them they can't piss and shit there doesn't solve the homeless problem, but inviting them and telling people anywhere in the world, hey, come to our city. We'll give you food and we'll care for you in ways that other places won't. It's just weird. The only thing that's less inviting for homeless people that I still don't quite get why they like San Francisco is it gets cold at night. If they were to just go to the East Bay and they'd have better weather. I don't know. But
the people in San Francisco are more altruistic. The average person in San Francisco just donates a lot more money to the homeless. Also, actually, San Francisco has the cheapest fentanyl in America. I don't know exactly why, but if you go to the Tenderloin and you try to buy fentanyl, you'll find it's much, much cheaper in the Tenderloin than anywhere else in America. And then the last thing I'd say is there's a program where San Francisco gives each homeless person $700 in addition to whatever other Social Security payments and other payments they're getting. So it's actually, believe it or not, it's economically rational for homeless people to move to San Francisco.
Isn't it the free market? That's why it's cheaper, is because there's less restrictions on sale. If you were going to sell somewhere else, you might get locked up and that whole shit. But since it's easier to get away with it, of course it would have to be cheaper. More people.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't have to be transported anywhere.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know why fentanyl is cheaper in San Francisco. It could be just I just don't know. But it's been studied by people, and it's economically rational. And I actually think that
just me, or is he breaking up?
No, I just think that I have a different view of San Francisco than most other people. I think that San Francisco should have the freedom to do whatever it wants with illegals and homeless and criminals. And I think it's better for America. It's actually better for America if San Francisco stays shitty forever, because it serves as a cautionary tale. And people from all over America come to San Francisco as tourists, and they see how much it sucks, and then it causes them to vote more logically in their hometown. So conversely, I'd say I want San Francisco, for the good of America, San Francisco should stay.
The cost of fentanyl and availability in large number of homeless people is essentially why they've gone to fentanyl. more because of that. When you have, first of all, a lax community like that on the drug, the drug use, and then you have a drug that's coming in and making, you cut it with anything and it cheapens it up. So that's why the fentanyl problem in San Francisco is ballooning. I had a couple that came over from San Francisco. The one, he was
it's not going to be a
I think the mistake you're making is that you don't realize the war has already started. The shooting has already begun. The biggest mistake that you can make in war is not action, it is inaction when the enemy is advancing on your line.
Not really, bro. It's not what's happening. The moment
He's kind of right.
No,
He's kind of right.
See, this people in red hats murdered in the streets, riots across the country, guys. We are at a war.
James, I consider you a friend on this app. Like, we've had each other's back. Like, I consider you a road dog on this app. Respectfully, you don't live in a place where this is going to affect you in your front door. It's not. So, respectfully, it is simply not. There are those of us Republicans that live in purple states and live in places where it is attractive.
I live in a blue-ass state.
Thank you. It's attractive for people to be able to cause this problem. My city is going to have the next Olympics.
My city is like the bluest of all of America.
Wait,
My city. I live in LA.
Bro, I live in LA sometimes too.
No, I'm not talking about sometimes. I was born and raised in California.
Okay, fine, but at the end of the day, LA, no, that's gonna happen in LA, bro.
So this is what I'm telling you. People said that last time. People said that last time, and let me tell you what happened. Me, my dogs, and a bunch of fucking suitcases had to flee in the middle of the night where people were rioting and looting and jumping on a plane and going to Miami. So again,
It's unfortunately, they think that the politically correct thing is the thing that works, but it doesn't work in the financial world. Things just, nobody wants to be there. I'll spend my money and go elsewhere where I don't have to deal with that level of homelessness and, the riffraff in the streets. I don't want to be amongst tents when I'm going to walk around with my girlfriend, whatever. In San Francisco, if they don't clean it up, they're going to continue to lose. They're losing all sorts of business from tech to, the financial world, is leaving and getting out of there. And, they're talking about an exit tax. Go ahead and put that on. See how fast before that gets implemented. You lose a bunch more businesses. Now you're looking at, you have to, start taxing people for every mile they drive on their electric cars because you're not pulling in enough taxes anymore because you're chasing the ones with the money out. California's doing everything wrong.
They're not doing everything wrong, respectfully. There's still some things that they do right.
They do wine right.
Well, I mean, they still have, it's the tech capital. I mean, it's Silicon Valley is still Silicon Valley, whether we like it or not. We could talk about the shit on the sidewalk all we want. We could talk about the fentanyl. We could talk about the fact that they've legalized shoplifting, but there's still a collection of very bright people that come from all over the world. What? Is there a reason why I just got interrupted?
Yeah, I have a comment to make about that.
Okay, go ahead then. I'll yield.
Alright, so first I was gonna ask, why do people who live there defend the poopiness and the homelessness and say, oh, it's not that bad? And my younger sister works and goes to and teaches at that Berkeley school. And she just becomes more and more like, I don't know, I just call it wacky and nuts because they're so it's one of the most liberal schools out there. And she even comments, she's like, there's no poop in that, like one time. And it's like, whoa, well, I get offended when I was just trying to help you out. And then also my friends on this app who live in the Bay Area or San Fran, they also say, no, it's not that bad. I mean, are they getting used to it? Are they getting used to the smell, maybe? It's not bright people.
response to what I said, but I'll reiterate. There's still a lot of very bright people that go to California that they have access to VC funding, and they're doing cool shit. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with this city, but there are some things right here in the heart of San Francisco. There's a lot of very good things that are happening. It's just the government is full of shit. I wish the California, the wealthy Silicon Valley libertarian types, I wish they could take over the whole state. I think that would bode well if the California libertarians.
I mean, to be fair, if you love technology and you hate poop, you can live in Palo Alto. Palo Alto is a beautiful place to live, filled with smart people. So, I mean, to some extent, Roger, don't you feel like Silicon Valley and San Francisco, they offer two different products, but they both appeal to smart people?
Yeah, look, I'm hypercritical of San Francisco on so many levels. I was just simply responding to the idea that there was nothing good about California or nothing good about San Francisco. I think there's still some things. Oh, I will tell you what broke my heart, though. My favorite restaurant in the entire city has gone to shit. Taddage Grill, the oldest restaurant in the city. The service has gone downhill. The food has gone downhill. And, yeah, terrible. But I did have, yesterday I had $160 worth of sushi at a very mediocre sushi place. So San Francisco is doing something right in terms of charging a lot of money for food. So it's been a while since I've spent $160 on.
And they wouldn't even cook it for you?
You know, that's a fucking point, man. You think they give you covered courtesy. Yeah, and rice. How expensive can rice be? I mean,
that's hard to fuck up.
It was okay. I mean, it's certainly not the best sushi I've ever had, but you know, they wanted. I have the option. I could have just ordered off the menu, or I could go with the chef special, omakase. And so, because I'm fancy and I haven't had sushi in a long time, at least what I thought was going to be good sushi. But when I got the check, I was like, did I just spend that much money for that meal? It didn't feel right.
You'll be pleased to know, Roger, that robots have been invented that make sushi, and they've been tested out, and Costco has had such success in the Washington State area that they're going to be rolling out the sushi-making robots to Costco's all over America. And people who've taste tested it says it tastes exactly like restaurant sushi for 70% less money. I don't know whether you've experienced.
I have not, but I will tell you, I will try that out. In Hayward, California, there's a restaurant called the Hayward Japanese Grill. And I walked into that place and I walked right out. This was some time ago. Let's call it 10 years ago. It might have been 12 years ago. But there was a Mexican guy making sushi. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Look, I'm not into identity politics the way most people are. But I will say, when I walk into a sushi restaurant, I want sushi made by somebody that's not Mexican. I would prefer that they're Japanese. And if I go into a Mexican restaurant, I certainly would prefer to see the Mexican. I do not want to see the Japanese guy making my burrito, and I damn sure fucking don't want the Mexican making my sushi. Hayward Japanese Grill, never eat there. A Mexican making sushi, it's just fucking appalling.
So the Costco sushi machine is in a place in your state, I believe, called Issaquah.
Yeah, Issaquah. Not bad.
I don't want you to reveal where you live, but I assume Issaquah is within driving distance. So check it out.
I mean, look, everything's within driving distance. you could. I mean, look, the fucking Griswolds drove to Wally World, for fuck's sake. You can, everything's within driving distance. You just, how much time do you want to spend driving?
So I just had to book a business trip to Osaka, and I learned something that shocked me today. People in Japan don't eat a lot of sushi. In fact, they say the average family in Japan only eats sushi 3 times a month. It's considered like a rare delicacy of some sort. So
the next time you're in Japan, will you go check out a restaurant called Ribera Steakhouse?
Yes. Let me get a Google right now. I'll put it on my map.
Yeah, Ribera Steakhouse is the chosen restaurant of pro wrestlers and has been since the 1950s. And the reason why is they have very large portions. Marcus wants to jump in. Marcus, go ahead. Tell me about Ribera.
No, there's one a few stops from my house, actually. So I haven't gone yet, but I walk by it all the time.
I won in an auction, Marcus, a Ribera Steakhouse satin jacket it was owned and signed by Terry Funk.
That's fucking phenomenal. That's awesome.
Is that like a Brazilian style place, like a fogo de chão type of thing?
No. It's just a regular steak place. But supposedly, was it Brody? Bruiser Brody couldn't get real steak anywhere. So he wandered into Ribera Steakhouse, liked it, so he brought everybody else back. And then the guy figured out if I keep marketing the pro wrestlers, they'll take a photo with the jacket.
Yeah.
And other people will come here hoping to see the pro wrestling.
Yeah, so here's what happened. So these wrestlers would go over there, and you had guys like Brody, you had guys like Stan Hansen, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. They'd go over there, and the Japanese fans just loved these bigger-than-life Americans that would come. But then the bigger-than-life Americans, they needed a restaurant that was open late, that was going to serve big portions. And Ribera was the only place in town that really supplied that. And so the owner, who was a wrestling fan that thought it was cool that these guys came in, he started giving them the jackets, but he didn't give the jackets to just anybody. He had to think of you as a legend. And so if you're a wrestler and you were given your Ribera Steakhouse jacket, like that's kind of like the equivalent of Johnny Carson, telling the comedian to come over and talk to him on the couch. Like you've made it when you get your Ribera Steakhouse jacket.
Roger, what are your thoughts on one of the tackiest and one of my favorite restaurants on the planet, Hooters, that old that franchise? Actually, it's a chain. No, it was a franchise.
Well, I'll tell you, Hooters in Southern California has top talent. I think it's in Newport. It's in one of the beach towns. I think it's Newport. Very talented. But the Hooters, let's say in Dublin, California, which I remember city council meetings in Dublin when they were coming and people protesting we didn't want this restaurant here, and they were arguing about the logo, and you had people from Hooters that were literally making the argument that it's an owl, and that Hooters stands for the sound that owls make, and they were legitimately making this argument. And the thing that's funny about Hooters is they had a special where you can get an order of chicken wings with a bottle of Dom Perignon, and it's for $199. And that was like the bougie thing to do. But the talent in the Dublin, California location was not all that good. But I will say, if you come up for a visit to Washington, I'll take you to a place in Tequila. That's called Twin Peaks. It's the same concept as Hooters, as you can imagine, and that talent, day, night, doesn't matter what day of the week. Twin Peaks, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that there's a turnover in the restaurant industry. Restaurants that are popular, most of them die. Like I think TGI Fridays just went out of business a couple of months ago. There's in the the genre of restaurants that feature large breasts. They're called breastaurants. Hooters was the founder, but there's three that are executing better. One that Roger mentioned called Twin Peaks. There's also a military breast-themed one called Bombshells. And the third one is a Scottish breast restaurant called the Tilted Kill. And those three concepts are stealing market share from Hooters, and most likely Hooters will be replaced by those three concepts.
Yeah, I mean, I think these should be like World Heritage sites. I mean, I did a bit of a tour. In fact, I used to take my girlfriend when I was in college to one in Saratoga Springs. Actually, it's in Albany. It was the talk about weak talent, no talent. The one in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, below zero talent. The original one in Sarasota, Florida, which I've been to with some of the when the Cardinals players used to hang out there. I just can't believe I used to like such a tacky place, because the food really, I'm not so sure, was ever as good as I thought it was. I'll land pretty soon here. And the other thing Santa Monica had one, Burbank had one, the one in Costa Mesa someone mentioned. I believe those were probably, more kind of on the higher end of the spectrum in the regard Roger was talking about. But what's interesting is, I think it's funny, I once tried to get money for a raptor conservation center, like, Great Horned Owls and blah, 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 from corporate. And Hooters was all into it. The organization I was working with was not willing to take money. I'm like, are you people nuts? This is now a family. People take young kids into these places. It's a family restaurant. It's no different than so many others, but the stigma still precedes it, and it's just a shame. Anyway, and those god-awful tights. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways, I'll end.
Yeah, in South Florida here, the talent level at Hooters is very subpar. And it used to be a place where a lot of the national calendar girls were. I dated two of the calendar girls, but they were both from the west coast of Florida. Now you look at it and you're like, it's...
At the same time?
No, they weren't at the same time. One after the other. And they did not even know each other. It was kind of funny. But
lie to me.
No, down over here, it's just like Twin Peaks is a much younger crowd. Up in South Carolina, same thing. In Greenville area, it's a much younger. The girls are younger. Here in Florida, what has happened though, and it's probably the same, and I would guess in San Francisco and some of the other areas. Hooters, you have the sports clientele, they come in. They really don't tip quite as well as when you go to Eddie V's, when you go to, Louis Bossi here, and the bigger name restaurants where your tabs are a lot higher and people tend to tip a lot more. So you've got a lot of real estate agents and other people that work in these restaurants because of the connections that they make there. And they're high dollar, tickets, so they're not going to work at a Hooters.
Don't you believe that? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but do you believe, this is where my Trump derangement syndrome is mitigated a bit. I believe Trump is going to bring back some of these misogynistic, leaning franchise restaurants chains to my liking, and I think he would be a huge fan. I'm going to have to look up this Twin Peaks. Sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, there's one in Phoenix. There's one in Dallas. It's rapidly growing, and the food is actually much better than the food at Hooters. So it's just a better execution.
I totally agree. They have these little ribs that you can get. I forget what the fuck they're glazed with, but they're pretty fucking good. And then you can get an order of these street tacos. And the standard order is three. They bring three of them, and still decent prices. It's $10 for 3 tacos. But if you want to add additional tacos, you can. And it's a very good deal. Very good.
And the girls
I always get them shorter, but they're into those restaurants. I almost never go for that exact reason. I feel the same way about those restaurants I feel about strip clubs. Not because I go to them, just more I get awkward about it.
Yeah, but Marshall, I'm kind of course, this is tongue in cheek for me to be sarcastic about this issue, but seriously, like, there's a couple really nice restaurants not far from where I live, where the owner is notorious for hiring very young hosts, and it's kind of like a veiled misogyny, right? It's like, what's worse, exploiting these young girls because of their young kind of looks, whatever you want to say, or a Hooters where it's just more overt. I mean, I'm not saying one is right or wrong, but I think that. Go ahead.
Those girls are going to get valuable. Like,
Mark, do you guys remember? This is before my time. I'm sure, like, when I was a kid, this was happening. But I've seen the photographs of, like, stewardesses in the 60s, and it's fucking incredible. Like, so I don't know why we've gotten so prudish about, like, utilizing good-looking women as a selling point. Booth babes were a big thing in the tech industry, and then they we're going to outlaw booth babes. What the you're going to outlaw hiring good-looking women to attract people to your booth? It's fucking weird. I think that as long as people are, and this is probably like not going to be much longer, but as long as men are attracted to good-looking women, I think that companies should use good-looking women to attract men. I mean, I don't see anything wrong.
Yeah, and speaking
the only way that you're getting out of airlines anymore these days is if you're going international. It's kind of nice. Some of the international airlines still hold that standard, and I do enjoy it.
And it also serves for kind of behavior modification. Like, you could go to see a cognitive behavioral therapist to deal with, like, I have some similar anxieties of flying that I used to, that Roger has discussed. And, if you're in really strong turbulence and I see a very attractive woman coming down the aisle or see whatever, it's like, I want to. What's that?
With a little bounce?
Yeah, my bravado kind of takes over my anxiety because I'm like, I have to look like I have it together, right? So it actually is therapeutic for me.
I need your guys' help here. I don't know if this is normal. I'm in a hotel room, and there's no phone. Clearly, I have my phone, but I could order food. They have a restaurant on the roof. There's a restaurant. But I'm looking at the menu, and I'm like, okay, well, let me call them. The first thought was like, well, where the fuck's the phone? There's no phone. So I could use my phone, but there's not even a fucking phone number. Like, how in the fuck am I supposed to order this food? Like, this is weird. Just fucking weird. There's no phone number and there's no phone. I don't get it.
You just
Are there no QR codes nowadays?
No, there's no fucking no. There's no QR code. There's no phone. Like whoever the smartass was that said hit zero. Hit zero for what? On what phone? Like if I saw a phone, I'd hit zero. It's fucking crazy.
So what happens when you hire
do that shit just to drive people crazy. Hooters was just way before its time because everybody thought it was objectifying women before, but now, women are the ones that are pushing the objectification with OnlyFans and everything else. Shit, they go to the mall wearing less than what the Hooters girls wear.
Yeah, but again, it was brilliant marketing, and their alliances with pro football.
Disregard, I found the phone. Sorry.
Like the DeBartolo, Eddie DeBartolo Jr., I think, you would see pictures, at least it's one of the, I didn't go in enough, but I remember the Ohio one. There was probably only one in the Cleveland area, and they had, the 49ers were owned by Eddie DeBartolo Jr. at the time, and they had, more 49ers paraphernalia at the Hooters in Cleveland than they had Cleveland Browns paraphernalia. They had kind of an interesting alliance with pro sports, and it became kind of a sports bar as well. And I think it was, well, indeed a bit misogynistic. It was a kind of brilliant marketing.
Marshall, if you're shy about Hooters, man, I would say give it another shot. Do what I do. I go in there, and every time that I go in there,
I act like I've never eaten king crab legs before. Excuse me. I act like I've never etten king crab legs before. Eric, and I asked the Hooters girl to help me teach me how to crack the crab legs. It's a very.
The other thing you could do is when it comes to that kind of stuff, I just turn into Hank Hill from King of the Hill. I turn into like.
Hey, look, I'm trying to throw you a bone here, man, but I understand.
I understand now.
I respect.
Do you find your eyes wandering, Marshall, and you can't like pull them back in, or what happens?
It's the bone and that makes
it's not an environment I particularly enjoy. I just I don't know. Like I said, I'm Hank Hill when it comes to this stuff.
And I think that's precious, but I also think, I have women friends who have worked at some of these places. I think they get so desensitized to it that it's like, and I'm not condoning it or approving it, but I think they get so desensitized that they probably find it charming when someone feels a little bit uncomfortable. It's probably refreshing for them,
There's always Buff Boys or Labare. You could check that out, and you wouldn't have to worry about the feeling misogynistic at all.
Yeah, I went to this boys' prep school. I've told people this in the past. We had 4 female teachers in the whole place, and one of them reveled in the attention she was getting. I don't know how long she lasted there, but she absolutely loved the attention, and I didn't even, we didn't really recognize that as students, but in retrospect, oh my God.
Yeah, I have a question. You guys were talking about women as sexual objects. What is wrong with viewing women as sexual objects? I guess it would be wrong if that's all you viewed them as, but women do have sex, and they are. Is there a problem with that? To look at a woman and go and to think, wow, she would be fun to have sex with. Isn't that better than looking at a woman and go, oh, I would never want to have sex with her?
Roger, there's a ton of science behind it. I actually watched the
documentary.
Don't
let women lie to you. We do it too.
Yeah, and if you talk to honest girls, they'll tell you that their conversations are worse than ours. But I was watching a documentary, and it's interesting when you understand the human body and the way that is created, because things happen there when they're getting turned on or their lips get more flushed and red. But if you look at a few things, their knees, they're more rounded, and they literally were showing different pictures of things, and you'd be like, oh, that's clearly her cleavage, or that's her ass. No, it was the curvature of her knees together that created that same illusion, and it's the same with their cleavage, the crack of their ass, and it's all these things that they've done that are drawn to attract us. And go ahead.
Corey, I used to have a PTR. I'm going to see if I can find it, where I took an up-close photograph of my finger. It was bent, but it was the photograph of my finger. It looked like cleavage, and when somebody pointed that out, I PTR'd it, and it's funny. Everybody was like, "Hey, whose tits are those?" So yeah, I'm gonna find this photograph. It's of my finger, but yeah, people are weird about this stuff. But back to the point about this objectifying women. I would think that it would be nice if we could just be really honest. Imagine if you could just make it this simple. Hey, you're very attractive. Are you taken? No, I'm not. Okay, would you like to fuck? You might want to weave a couple of other fact-finding questions in there, but being able to just cut to the chase and all you want to do is make sure you're not soliciting someone that's happily married, because then you're harassing them, right? But as long as you assess that, hey, this person's single, she might enjoy sex. We should be able to ask those questions. Do you enjoy sex? Are you single? Are you available? Are you interested in sex with me? If we could have that kind of candid conversation, I think the world would be a better.
Well, you also have to, of course, tackle the various contingents and I haven't had a conversation with Elle about feminists. I probably have an impression of where you might stand. Feel free to correct me. But I think that there are warring factions within the female population. I mean, for example, tonight I was at the gym. I was on the treadmill. There was a woman on the Stairmaster ahead of me. I didn't initially notice it at first, shockingly, because she was, really toned, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, wow, she could wear something less she could wear something less tight-fitting, I suppose, right? But she chose to wear something that really kind of accentuates her physique, right? And she didn't seem to have a problem with it. I'm sure that men, other women, whomever saw this person, she chose not. There were some women wearing heavier clothes, whatever, but this woman chose to wear this. And
Jordan, it was the other women who were judging her, not
Exactly. It's the other women who have made this whole misogyny thing so out of hand, right? It's that population of people. Look at all
I stayed pretty covered up. I wore the same thing, like black, the capri ones, and just a loose t-shirt or tank. And then eventually it was always a tank.
Hold on. Listen. I think that there are some men that push things too far. And pushing it too far is doing things like unwanted touch, for example. Like, don't put your hands on a woman's butt. Like that used to be a thing once upon a time, that you could pat a woman on the butt. You shouldn't do those things. Everything should be consensual. I've heard on this app, I would hear black women say, don't fetishize me. I don't like when white people touch my hair. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't think anybody should like any stranger touching their fucking hair. You don't have to be a black person to not want somebody to not touch your fucking hair. And by the way, whether you're white or black, don't go around touching women's hair. Just don't touch women's hair. Just don't fucking do it. And if you really want to touch their hair, then ask politely. And then if they get all fucking uptight about you asking, then just say, okay, fuck it, I'll just stop talking to women, because that's what the goal seems to be. Everybody wants to turn the world faggoty. Like, we're not allowed to even flirt with each other.
Yeah, back in the day they called him playing grab ass.
Well,
I talked to Michio Kaku, who is a physicist who teaches at the City College of New York in Harlem, and I was doing a project about Isaac Asimov, and he asked how it was going, and he told me that they always wanted Isaac Asimov to come to the City College and do a lecture, but they could never get him. He's kind of agoraphobic. He really liked inside, to stay inside. But he said finally they figured out that he did like parties, and they threw him a birthday party. And he came out and lectured. They threw him a real banger of a party. And he got so lit that Michio Kaku said in his own words that he got so drunk that he started playing a little grab ass with the women at his birthday party. And I thought that was hilarious, all things considered, being agoraphobic and everything, that he still had it in him to play a little grab ass. It's about...
Just, I don't know. Consent. Consent is a very important word. It's very important.
Well,
you should gain permission. And by the way, just because this is the other thing that men, I think, get confused, is just because a woman's being polite to you doesn't mean she wants to fuck you. In fact, sometimes when she's being rude to you, she might want to fuck you. She just doesn't know how else to act. So you just gotta ask. I think we need to be much more clear with our words, just precise with our words. We just need to declare our intentions. Hey, I'm trying to fuck, and see where that gets.
I had that last week. There's a guy that wants to get married, and then when I basically said no politely, he put in his profile that he's looking for a girl to marry. and what he does. I don't know, some like blue collar job, but from another country. And then I got like recently a few weirdo older men, and you can tell they're weirdos by what houses they follow, or if they're all yours, and then how many friends who they follow, and how do you politely reject them, or do you just ignore them? I have an issue with ignoring people. And then finally, like, I got one that was like, I don't know, like normal. And I don't know, like, what do you just...
What is normal? What is your definition of normal?
Like you have seen him in the same rooms, not maybe at the same time, but he has normal rooms, or rooms you're like not weirded out by, like all those like sex rooms and stuff, and like atheists. Like, I'm not sorry if anyone's an atheist. I'm not saying you're weird or anything, but I'm just not one. And I don't know, things that you would be a part of or are, and they don't say something like, "Hey, pretty girl," or I don't know what. Let me see how many weirdo things I can find. Like, I know the last one was like, "Hey, pretty girl."
I think that I could be wrong, but I think that on this app
today I got a "Hello, JD" by this young, like, obviously Hispanic, like South American person. Yeah. Then a "hello." And then, someone sugar daddy-ish. Another one, "Hello, Alyssa, how are you doing? I'll be glad to hear from you."
Well, what if somebody just came up and said, "Hey, are you single?" And then you said yes, and then they said, "Is it cool to smash?" Like, would that be too forward?
I would say, do you want to talk first for a few minutes?
Yeah, then, yeah, like where this is going. Hold on, let's role play this. Okay, so we start from the top. Hey, you're attractive. Are you single? And you say, "I am single." And then I say, and then I say, "Is it cool to smash?" And then you say, "Hey, let's talk for a minute." Okay, now I have to really think, okay, what am I going to say? So then I would probably say something like, "So, hey, you ever heard of the app called Clubhouse?" And you would say,
yeah, I spent a little bit of time on there.
"Oh, that's cool. We got so much in common. Hey, you want to fuck?"
Tommy asked for a knee in the chat, so I obliged.
Well, hold on. I'm just wondering, is this too, like, at what point can you weave it back to, like, to the actual question?
Clubhouse is not like I don't know.
You have to tell her she has nice hair first, or her smile, Roger.
Weirdo, I don't know.
You seem like such a nice person. You got a great personality. We got so much in common. Are you a Protestant? Me too. Want to have sex? I think that's a good natural progression.
Well, probably if you're really attractive and like horny, yeah. But I mean, that's just I don't know. I'm not gonna say I haven't been like that, and not like every day. That, like, I don't. You know what I mean? That's been a couple of times.
No, I get you. I'm just wondering, like, if we were giving this advice. Alyssa, hold on. Imagine we're giving advice to young men that are trying to work on their approach. Like, I mean, there's men in this oh man, we got Unk downstairs. So Unk is a ladies' man. He would be able to spit some game for us. But I just want to understand from your perspective, Alyssa, if we were giving advice to a young man that's trying to figure out how to, negotiate sex with a woman he just met, like, what would be the smoothest approach, Alyssa? I want your approach, and then I'm going to go to Unk because I know Unk's got some game. But Alyssa, what would be the line that they would use? That
Like
they would
today,
get
the
in them
one that I answered back for sure, and I don't know if I should. I don't think about waiting. When should I wait or not? Anyway, but a good old like, hi, how are you? It's just like, I don't know, something normal. Like, I saw you in such and such room, and like that, something that's not creepy. Like, don't comment on looks. Do not comment on looks. Whatever you do.
Okay, so let me practice this. You are very intelligent and you've got personality.
No.
Want to fuck? I mean, does that work?
That's a little weird. Don't say you're really intelligent. I would say you seem pretty smart on that subject.
Okay,
Like, don't just come out and be like,
let me try this again. Hey, I really appreciated what you said when we were in that room talking about politics. Yeah. You sound like a very intelligent and well-informed woman. Would you like to have sex?
Maybe I would say one more, like, back and forth thing.
Yeah, because this is like
one more.
Yeah,
you're gonna be able to tell she's into you by her like talking back to you if she's normal.
All right, let me give it to Unk. Unk's got this stuff figured out. Unk, how do you meet a woman in the real? Unk, talk to us. Give us some advice.
Hey, nephew. Man, shit. You know what? I think that the coolest thing a man can be for a woman is confident. Not cocky, not arrogant, not none of that kind of shit. Just, I don't know how to tell you how to do it. If you just know that you kind of like that dude, whenever you holler at a female, you just, holler at her, hey, what's happening? They can hear it in your voice, like, I'm not asking you to have sex with me. I'm not telling you to have sex with me. It's almost like you saying in your words, you want to have sex with me. And she say, yeah, I plan. Yeah, hell yeah, why not?
I get what you're laying down. So what you want to do is you want to just lay it out. I like the phraseology too.
You can't, like, I ain't never, and see, here's the other thing. Prior to me having a lot of bread, I was just like other dudes, and not scared of females, but just, all them other things happen.
What? Oh, sorry, he got a phone call.
Yeah. Hold on. Dr. Joe, we're going to hear from you, but because McZed showed up. McZed, in my opinion, is the smartest guy on the app. Actually, second smartest. Io is probably the smartest guy. But McZed's very reasonable.
And his wife is hot.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, he does very well with the ladies, or at least with one lady. McZed, here's the question. If we're trying to teach young men what to say to a young woman to, get her attention, to pick up on a young woman, but maybe in a classy way. McZed, how do we do that?
Hello? Hey.
Hello? I don't know.
I took an approach like that, and it might have been a little too aggressive, and I was told that I needed to ask one more question. And so I'm going to have to, add at least one more question.
Ask them to sit down, see what their vicinity of closeness they are to you, because that tells a lot. Because if they are gonna put like 5 feet from you, or like sit across the table, or like sit next to you at the table, like a little table, like that tells a lot. Because I know, like, for me, that I tend to just, I'll sit like really not like on top of them, but you know what I mean, to have a conversation closer than normal if it was just like a not romantic thing. You know what I mean? No one knows what I mean.
I know what you mean to listen. If you feel comfortable with the guy, you'll get closer to him. If you don't like him,
yeah,
distance. And the person should be able to pick up on this amount of space you give them.
When you're making that advance, a simple gesture is to touch somebody on the elbow. It's not invasive. It's known as an in-between gesture. So if you were talking to a girl and the next thing you do is you kind of touch her elbow, she doesn't pull away, then you know, okay, she's more receptive to it. So yeah, when a woman allows you to get closer, or she becomes closer, it's the first sign that there's an attraction there.
What's another one? Oh God!
I love your mustache. That's a good one.
I've said it all in my day. Wait a minute. I don't agree with this. You can't talk about looks. What if you were to just tell her, "Damn girl, you got ass so thick it could pull a bus"? I think she might respond. Well, here's one way I do it, and the women on stage, the women everywhere or on stage in the audience can give me their feedback. I often deal with highly telegenic, aesthetically appealing people, and I will often say, kind of in a passing way, and this isn't to hit on someone, but this is to like acknowledge that the person, the person is clearly attractive, and I acknowledge it by saying something like, you clearly have a media presence, or you have that telegenic appeal or whatever, and it's not in a slimy, sleazy way. It's simply to acknowledge that someone has a presence,
but not instantly.
About them. Right. But in my case, it's often in the context of a business thing. Now, the same thing sometimes I'm very careful not to say in a personal interaction, because the reason is not so much that the women, that it's inappropriate, it's that the attractive women hear that all the time, and it's a turnoff to them. Like, actually, they want something a little more refreshing.
Respectfully, the most attractive women don't get hit on nearly as much as you think.
True.
It's like
true.
It's the 6, 7s, and 8s that get hit on all the time. The 9s and 10s, most men are too intimidated to hit on them.
True.
This one lady, she turned and looked at me as I was walking up. She was like looking in the window at a shop, and she just had one of those smiles that like legitimately captivates you. Like, it's just like that welcoming smile. And I had a girlfriend. I'm not gonna hit on her, but I walked by and I told her, and I didn't stop. I didn't slow down anything, and I kind of look over my shoulder, and I can see her look, and she has her hands out like, "You're just gonna keep walking?" And I was just dying, because it's like she was waiting for me to stop and say more. But that comment right there, I've told multiple people, and you can see it. It genuinely is accepted completely different than saying, "Oh my gosh, you're beautiful," this, that, the other. But when I say it, it's genuine, you know. But yeah, I think there's subtleties like that really hit differently, you know. Down here, when I moved to South Florida, conversations with the girls that I'd go on dates with and stuff, was the shallowness here is like they said, if a man can't talk about himself, it's 5 to 10 minutes of him talking about himself. Then after that, he's got nothing else to offer. It's like, it can't really be that bad here. And after going on dates with several, it's that bad down here, you know. So all you got to do is have a little bit of a glass, I think, and you can do pretty much well.
Well,
anyway, you know?
and that's true too. And also, but there's also this notion of don't pay any attention to the person who's used to getting so much attention, right? That becomes a bit of a challenge for them. It depends on the context, of course.
Yeah, you hit on the second best looking one, and then there's the jealousy.
Exactly.
It's like the embers start. That you start igniting the embers, and it turns into a friggin' firestorm.
No, I've had guys literally compliment, you know, the way they complimented my girlfriend. One was with his wife, but he's just, you know, he's talking about, he's like, you know, her eyes, this, that, the other, whatever. But I've had it happen, and it's like when a person compliments in the proper way, even if you're with them, to me, I'm not insecure about it, right? My girlfriend has had professional athletes literally come in and hit on her. She just comes back and tells me about it, and she's laughing about it, you know, and I don't care. I'm not in the least bit worried, and, you know, and that confidence, and I think it might have been Unk that said that, or somebody's talking about it, but I think she knows that I really don't care if she can tell me about it, and it's funny to me, you know. It's here these people are that if people are buying their jerseys, they're hitting on my girlfriend, and she's laughing at them for it, you know. And it's just, you have to have that confidence, you know. And
your girlfriend, maybe you shouldn't be laughing. Maybe you should be smashing.
No matter what somebody says to them, you don't have to be jealous. We go rarely do go out. She's not that type of person. She's in the gym literally 6 days a week, and boxing probably 4 days a week, and you know, so she doesn't go out and do much. This is so funny. I see these guys half her age, and they're checking it out. I just laugh, you know. I mean, it's funny to me. But
yeah, I have a question for Dr. Jordan, real quick. Yeah, Dr. Jordan, if you were to use a pickup line on Victoria in the chat, what would you say to Victoria?